The future of our communities begins with informed choices.
As the 2026 FCT Area Council elections draw closer,
The New Direction Movement, in partnership with KAFTAN TV and Inspire Nigeria Initiative, presents
30 days countdown to the FCT Area Council elections.
Join us every day at 6 p.m. on KAFTAN TV as we engage candidates for councillor and area council chairman,
asking the questions that matter on vision, mission, leadership, programs, accountability, development, and so on.
Join us as we drill the candidates and address grassroots development in FCT. Call in live to ask questions on 08029 38365.
Follow us live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X.
30 days countdown only on KAFTAN TV.
A new direction for leadership begins with you.
It was Martin Luther King Jr. who said, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. So the measure of your greatness may be equally proportional to the quality of service you offer to the people. In the next 39 days, the people of FCT will be going to the polls to elect their councillors in all the 6 area councils and their local government chairmen in the 6 area councils. Will we vote people who understand the principle of service, the power of service, the dynamics of service, and how service transforms things, or do we continue the way we used to do it? Welcome to Countdown to FCT Area Council Elections. My name is Olanrewaju Osho. This program is brought to you by KAFTAN Television in partnership with New Direction Movement of Nigeria and Inspire Nigeria Initiative. So today, we are focusing on the candidate. You remember in the first episode, we dissected what local government is all about, and we saw the significance of local government in the development of any nation or subnational entity. And we want to now begin to look at the candidates one by one. And I'm happy to inform you that we have with us today a young man who is aspiring for leadership. We are the one that have been advocating, let the youth lead, let the youth lead. The youth have heard us and they have responded. And today, we are looking at one of the 6 area councils in FCT called Kwali Area Council. Kwali Area Council is in the southwest of the Federal Capital Territory. You know, if you are going towards Abaji, as you cross Gwagwalada, and it's a beautiful local government with vast, landscape that will be tantalizing you as you drive past. And in the Kwali Area Council, we have 10 wards. And one of the wards is called Pay Ward. And we are brought to you today a young man who is contesting to become the councillor of Pay Ward on the platform of the AAC party. AAC party. And his name is Sydney Usman Godwin. Mr. Sydney Usman Godwin, welcome to Countdown to FCT Area Council Elections 2026.
It's a pleasure having you.
Tell me about your ward.
Okay. A Pay Ward, like you rightly said, is the biggest in Kwali Area Council. And it's the most interesting to be in. Interesting in the sense that it's a reflection of the Nigerian spirit.
Wow.
Where you have diverse people from diverse regions coexisting together as one indivisible people of Nigeria. So you can find the Yorubas in their large numbers, the Igbos, the Hausas, the Gwaris, the Igalas, and a whole lot of people. And also, it is a home for young intellectuals. You have young people there with amazing creativity. And sadly, there's very poor or clearly no standpoint for them to excel in this amazing gift they have. So we chose to run for the liberation of our people, and that's why I won the ballot.
Okay, before we go back to Pay, what does your party AAC, what does it mean?
The African Action Congress, AAC, is a Pan-African political party that cuts across the Pan-Africanism of leadership, culture, and also science.
Okay. What I believe that a lot of people in FCT don't even know when they hear Pay Ward.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What's the biggest town in Pay or the village in Pay? And how many how many villages consist of Pay Ward?
Okay.
Just the big ones.
We have, in total, we have 10 communities in Pay Ward.
Okay.
And we have Pay, the headquarters itself. We have Lile Igwari, we have Lile Ibasa, we have Tattoo, we have Kuchichacha, we have Dabi, we have Bako, we have Forest, we have Bobuta, and we have Tattoo. We have 10 wards, 10 villages, 10 communities in it. And the largest, okay, we have Chiche as well, which makes it 10. And the largest of them all is Bako,
okay,
and Dabi.
Okay.
Given the landscape, given the population, Bako has a total number, as at the last voters registration,
yes,
a total number of 3,964 registered voters.
Wow.
In Bako.
In Bako alone.
While Dabi has 3,624 registered voters.
That's almost 7,000 just two of them.
In just this community. And they're just friends. You know you very well to yourself, and even there,
I've been there. I can boast that I know FCT. You see, as he was mentioning the names of those villages, I'm sure some of you will be wondering, where is this? One of the beautiful things that this program will be doing for you is that we are going to tour almost every ward in the 6 area councils in the course of this countdown. You'll be hearing names you have never heard before. You'll be knowing villages that you have never known before. And you'll be hearing of words that you never even knew existed. Because we need to know our country. Particularly, we need to know our territory. The territory is ours, and the development of the territory is ours. That's why we are, focusing on bringing this to the grassroots so that we can expand the understanding of the people of FCT on why they need to know their territory and how they need to be involved in the building of the territory, particularly through political activity, and then the selection of quality leaders that can transform the communities.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, you want to?
That's absolutely, I agree on that.
Yes. So Sydney, I think I would say your community is one of the communities that have benefited from this current government, because I learned that the community was given a 15-kilometer road from the. Is it true?
On paper, right? Yes. On paper, it is. I wrote a petition a few months ago regarding the dilapidated road structure in my community. It is sad to note that in FCT, these communities I just mentioned,
yes,
aside Dabi, Bako, Bobuta, and Forest, since God created the heavens and the earth, they have not seen light before.
Light?
Yes. Electricity.
In the Federal Capital Territory?
I can tell you for a fact. You can go fast check that.
You can hear that?
There's never been light.
Wow.
Then you talk about road, there's no electricity. Where's the road? On paper, yes, there are. Now, I'll tell you, there's no potable drinking water. They have to take a distance of about 500 kilometers, trek for about 500 kilometers to get drinking water. And if there is no electricity in that community, like power supply for that day, then you don't have water.
Whoa.
The major concern of our people in my community as I speak to you, even in Dabi and Bako, is that they want potable drinking water, which we've assured them that by the grace of God, when we resume office, that will be done. It's a shame. You can't travel there during rainy season. You'll be mashed.
Why?
Because there's no accessible road.
But we can flag off the completion of 15-kilometer road in your ward. Is that true or is it a lie?
Good.
Is the road there or is it not there?
There's a road there. This road, it takes from, there's a place called Alone with God.
Yes.
On your way to Sheda.
Okay. To Sheda.
To Sheda.
Yes.
So it takes through the right. It leads from that particular place to Pay. Straight.
Okay.
To Pay.
Okay.
To Pay community.
Community, yes.
Itself. That's the headquarters.
The headquarters of the ward.
On your way to Pay, to your left, there's Lile Igwari.
Okay.
Dilapidated.
Okay.
To your right, there's Kuji Chacha. Dilapidated.
Okay.
To your extreme right, close to Pay, there's Lile Ibasa.
Okay.
Completely dilapidated.
Okay.
And I found out that the reason why that road was created, it wasn't for the benefit of the people, but because of their own benefit. On that road,
yes,
you have a whole lot of people who have stolen public funds and built secured lands there for agriculture, large-scale agriculture.
Okay.
Ongoing there for personal use.
So you are saying that this 15-kilometer road was built not in the interest of the people of the community,
Absolutely.
but because a new, community of rich people,
Absolutely.
big people have their, interest in that
there.
area.
Absolutely.
So it was built to secure the interest of the.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh.
Secondly, if you take a look at Dabi and Bako, which is the largest community, there's no, in fact, they flagged off, they had a banner before and after. If you go there, as I speak to you now, the roads are very dusty. You can't just pass there.
And there was a flag off.
Yes.
Flag
before
off to
and
do
after.
what? Flag off to do what?
Like they told us they want to grade the road.
Okay.
They had a banner there. In a few weeks, they had it completed. They took pictures, and the rest is history. These are verifiable facts. You can go there.
Okay. No road. Now, I can relate with what Sydney is saying, because by the grace of God, I have been to a minimum of 111 villages in FCT. And some of you who are living in the city center, you don't know what happens in all these areas. So that's why if you have anybody who is living in any part of FCT, you need to put a call through to them this time around and say, the election that is coming in 39 days time, pay attention. Choose people that can speak for you, that can work for you, and that can change these narratives. Because Kwale is 30 years old.
Yes.
Your Kwale Area Council is 30 years old.
Absolutely.
And in 30 years, you still have places where there's no water, no accessibility, and
No light.
No light.
There's
and
never been transformer there.
No transformer there at all. In 30 years, it'll be Federal Capital Territory. So you can imagine the level of underdevelopment that will exist in other interlands all across Nigeria. So it's only leadership that can transform things. And that is why we are doing countdown to FCT election. And if we do this kind of program in every part of Nigeria, we will now be able to, innovatively, intentionally, deliberately elect people who can change this story. Because everything rises and falls with leadership. And it doesn't have to come from the president alone. The leadership in your grassroots, in your community, it matters. If you don't pay attention to the leadership in your grassroots, in your community, you will continue to suffer in silence, and you continue to blame the wrong people. Whereas you have what it takes within your domain, within your locality,
Absolutely.
to be able to get things right by electing good councillors, electing good local government chairmen, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's leave that for now. Let's talk about your party. What is the philosophy of your party? Why must, we're not talking about your candidacy yet.
Absolutely.
Why must the people of the Federal Capital Territory, why must they choose your party?
Good.
Because your name will not be on the ballot that day.
Absolutely.
It is your party that will be on the ballot.
Absolutely. I want to start by saying, and I will end by that the African Action Congress, AAC party, its logos are, this is the logo.
Okay.
For our viewers,
Okay.
this is the logo
Okay.
on the ballot. And in payword, it will be the number 2nd on the ballot.
Okay.
So when you go there, your thumbprint on that particular party is an agreement to liberation.
How?
Good. The African Action Congress is among the 3 political parties I've studied clear-cut political ideology, clear-cut political antecedent that reflects the suffering of the Nigerian people. Now, we have a clear-cut ideology,
Okay.
which no other party, aside the SDP and the NRP,
Okay.
that are a socialist political party.
Okay.
Now, we have a clear-cut political ideology that clearly states resources of state
Yes.
is owned by the state,
Okay.
the people.
Okay. That's
We do
one.
not practically believe in capitalism.
Okay.
And that is why we are advocates, we are activists, we are citizens who are pained by the collective suffering of our people, and we have enough money to fix Nigeria. We don't have that. That's why you see the PDP, the APC, and other criminal political parties share same political philosophy, which is clearly to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that's what they've been doing in the last 25
But
years.
they will not believe that. They will not believe.
but it's
they,
clear.
They have the ideology also. So speak to yours.
No, but the point, I'm just trying to
Yeah,
do comparison. It's a
yes.
political comparison in terms of party ideology. We have a clear philosophical framework.
I asked that question on purpose because, you see, one of the things we are doing through this program is to do political education.
Yes.
For example, in the US, you have the Democrats.
Yes.
In the US, you have the Republicans. And they are like, you know, day and light.
Opposite.
But here you see people crossing from one party to another because we don't understand ideology, political ideology. If you have chosen a political ideology and it aligns with your value, you stick to it. No matter what happens, you don't sway from this one to that one to that one to that one, up and down. So you have spoken to us about the resource of the state. What is there another ideology that your party has that the people must, you want to espouse to the people?
Okay, fine. Aside having a clear political philosophy and ideology that the African Action Congress is clear about, that is a socialist political party, which state's means of production is owned and controlled by the state. That is one. Secondly, we clearly believe in the rule of law.
The rule of law?
We believe that education should not only be fundamental, but should be free and accessible to all. We believe that healthcare should not be politicized. Healthcare should not be costed. The people should have access to quality healthcare, quality education. These are fundamental rights, spiritually, physically, and even constitutionally. But this other people have a flagrant disrespect for the rule of law. They don't even understand what political philosophy and ideology is about. So that is the more reason why we've come up to the fray to dissect this very critical aspect of our human life, to ensure that citizens understand that they do not have to pay a dime to attend school. And that the resources here are available, because the lies they've been sold to is that we do not have enough money. Look at Malami. Someone who has been said to have allegedly stole 212 billion naira. Just one person. Not the one they said Emefiele stole. If you combine these funds, they are enough to make healthcare services qualitatively distributed across board. But just a few criminals who had organized themselves into a political party, robbing Nigerians.
It's not their party that robbed, it is they that robbed.
Yes, that's the idea.
And it's an allegation, by the way.
Yes, that's the idea. And Adam Soshomole was clear when he told you that, come to us, your sins will be forgiven.
He has said that was not what he meant. But anyway, thank you, Mr. Sidney Usman Godwin, for sharing with the people of Abuja, particularly the people of Pay Ward in Kwali, the ideology of your party. Now, the Constitution of Nigeria allows primary school qualification if you want to run for a councillor. So may we know did you go to primary school, or can you tell us about yourself, your education, and so on and so forth, and have you worked before? What have you done? Or are you a jobless person looking for opportunity to become a councillor and then have access to state and to public funds?
Absolutely. Okay, first and foremost, my name is Sidney Usman Godwin. I am a graduate by the grace of God. I studied environmental science and education from the University of Abuja.
Environmental science
and education. So I am an environmentalist by profession and also an educationist. I'm a teacher and I'm an administrator as well. So
you work for government? Or?
No, I don't. I'm a private practitioner.
Public education.
Absolutely. And I also do business. Yeah. And secondly, like I said, I went to the university, studied in the University of Abuja, Nigeria. Now, Yakubu Gawon. I wonder how they reward people in this country. So,
but Yakubu Gawon deserves to be rewarded. Maybe
that's a discussion for another day.
Yes.
Because when I remember the Biafra massacre, I don't think he deserves any.
He as the president of Nigeria, he had to save the country. So until you sit in a particular position or a seat of government, you don't understand what goes on there. Let's talk about what you are saying.
Absolutely. So basically, that's just it. And I feel a sense of service. I'm a public person, a public servant. And that is what has inspired the drive in me to ensure that we have a working system. I have carried out an environmental sanitation alongside the nursing students in my community before. By the grace of God.
There are nursing students in your community?
They come on posting. Yeah, there. So,
because
we're close to the University of Abuja. Teaching hospital.
So what did you do for them?
Yeah, we had sanitations. We had to clean the environment. We donated with 2 waste bins to the community. as a way of trying to ensure that we should have a sane and clean society.
Did you do that because you are looking for political office, or is it part of what you do normally?
That was like, this donation we made was about 5 years ago.
Okay. So,
because we just feel we should serve our community.
So by then you didn't have any political ambition?
No, I've always been a political animal from the start, right from the university.
Okay.
I led protests in the university, threatened by exposure, and all of that. So I've been against the ills of society, importantly, political and economic ills.
Okay.
So that's basically has been the driving force to see how best people enjoy the evidence of democracy and live in saner society, like the ones we dream about.
Okay. Thank you very much. Before we go on break, tell me about your values. What are your values?
Integrity, sincerity, and service.
Integrity, sincerity, and service. And you intend to bring all this to leadership?
Yeah, I've lived that all my life. It's a value in me, so it's always been part of me.
Okay.
Yes. So people I've worked with independently, people I've worked with collectively, they can absolutely testify to that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So why did you choose the position of a councillor?
Okay. That's a tough question anyways. But fun. I want to run for councillor because I feel, starting from the cradle of leadership, interaction will do me a whole lot of good. I intend to aspire to lead this country one day, by the grace of God. So I feel connecting with the people, like going out to campaign, has opened me up to a whole lot of new discoveries that I thought I knew, but they became even deeper. It showed me how much the Nigerian masses are suffering. I could listen to someone. I almost cried on Sunday when I went for campaign. A woman said, this is our community. It has been divided that this particular water supply, which is the only one in the community, belongs to a certain tribe.
A tribe?
Yes, and they are by no means expected to go close to it.
So within the community, the water is tribal?
It's tribal.
It has tribal marks?
I felt like crying. I was like, this is gross injustice. This is clear marginalization, and this shouldn't happen in a
Since government didn't do it, a tribe did it for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So other tribes are expected to also do it for
themselves. Now people become government for themselves. And I was like, no, when we come to power, we ensure that we have not just water supply, but solar powered water supply. But this one won't have tribal marks. It will belong to the people. And even outside, come and enjoy the evidence of democracy, in as much as you're Nigerian. And regardless, you can even be an expatriate and still enjoy the evidence of democracy, because this is what sane society are made of.
I asked that question because a lot of young people today just want to sit down and look. And they see politics, it is bad, we're not interested, and that's why I ask you, why do you want to?
Okay, fine. I feel getting involved in politics as a young person without resources to want to challenge the money bags, individuals who have stolen a lot of money, they feel they don't stand a chance. Why do I go into a fight I already lost before?
Because politics is expensive.
Absolutely, because these guys have made it too expensive.
A lot of money.
Good. So now they look at it, fine, I want to make money in the first instance. So why don't I just focus on making money? These guys are making money because they've allowed politics as their only source of income. Whereas ditching the people for their personal gain, instead of providing water, electricity, road, healthcare, they now resolve to stealing the entirety of this money for themselves, leaving the people to their fate, and a very dilapidated and confused state, both infrastructure-wise as well as healthcare. So the people now like, okay, why? I should just probably get myself a business, get involved, probably be a data boy, a pad-carrying PA to a thief in government, and then I start from there. So they look at this as expensive. They've lost, to an extent, hope and faith in the political space. That they believe anyone who goes in there is a criminal. And why do I want to stress myself in an expensive venture when I can also make money from other places? They don't see it from the angle of service.
Okay. Thank you. There's something you said, I'll take you on when we get to the second part of the program. Viewers, I know you have been enjoying listening to Mr. Sidney Usman Godwin, who is running for the position of councillor in the AAC party on the election that is coming on the 21st. The election is the 21st of February, 39 days from today. So he will be going to he will be hoping that the people of Pay will vote for him and elect him as their councillor. And that's why he's trying to interact with the people. And then because the program is not only for Pay people, it's for the whole of FCT. And then all of us also are people who may be living in Bako, in Pay, in all those villages that are under the world. But we want you to know that you have the opportunity to talk to Mr. Sidney Usman Godwin directly. You can talk to him yourself. You can ask him any question, particularly if you live in Pay Ward, if you're in Kwali Area Council, and if you know people that are there or you know issues around Kwali and you would like to ask from him. So our number is 0802 0802 993 8365. I take it again. 0802 993 8365. And you can be able to, once you call the number, and when we come back from the break right now, the number will be on. You can call us and you'll be able to speak to us directly. So this is still countdown to FCT Area Council elections, which is just 39 days away. And my name is Olayenwa Joshua. This program is brought to you by New Direction for Nigeria Movement, a movement of Nigerians who feel that we cannot leave politics for the politicians. Every one of us must be involved in how we transform our country, how we salvage our country, how we save our country. Because if we continue to sit down and look and do nothing, the country will die on our head. So New Direction for Nigeria Movement does not want Nigeria to die on our head, and they are calling all Nigerians who wants to see change happen, come to join them. And how do you join? Just go to www.nedmo.org and become a member of New Direction for Nigeria Movement. You can do that from any part of the world, whether Nigeria or in diaspora. So they are the one bringing this program to you, and I'm been very excited talking to Mr. Godwin, who seems to know why he's diving into the murky water of politics. So we will go on a short break right now, and when we come back, we will begin to talk more to Mr. Sidney Usman Godwin on what he wants to do for the people of Pay. So don't change the dial, sit back, relax. And while we're on break, you can quickly call your house members who are not watching and say, this is interesting, I think you should listen to it. The man is very intelligent, come and hear what he's saying. And then maybe what he's saying can inspire other young people who feel that, politics is too dirty, I don't want to be involved in, to also come on board. Thank you. We'll be right back after the break.
The future of our communities begins with informed choices.
As the 2026 FCT Area Council elections draw closer,
the New Direction Movement, in partnership with KAFTAN TV and Inspire Nigeria Initiative, presents
30 days countdown to the FCT Area Council elections.
Join us every day at 6 p.m. on KAFTAN TV as we engage candidates for councillor and area council chairman.
Asking the questions that matter on vision, mission, leadership, programs, accountability, development, and so on.
Join us as we drill the candidates and address grassroots development in FCT. Call in live to ask questions on 08029 38365.
Follow us live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X.
30 days countdown only on KAFTAN TV.
A new direction for leadership begins with you. The future of our communities begins with informed choices.
As the 2026 FCT Area Council elections draw closer,
the New Direction Movement, in partnership with KAFTAN TV and Inspire Nigeria Initiative, presents
30 days countdown to the FCT Area Council elections.
Join us every day at 6 p.m. on KAFTAN TV as we engage candidates for councillor and area council chairman.
Asking the questions that matter on vision, mission, leadership, programs, accountability, development, and so on.
Join us as we drill the candidates and address grassroots development in FCT. Call in live to ask questions on 08029 38365.
Follow us live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X.
30 days countdown only on KAFTAN TV.
A new direction for leadership begins with you.
Welcome back to Countdown to FCT election. As we are coming from the break, we have our first caller. Hello, caller. Good evening.
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
What?
I'm calling from
What's your name and where are you calling from?
my name is Amadio. I'm calling from River State.
Oh, you are Mr. Amadi and you are calling from Rivers. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
So what's your question?
Yes. I want to join this thing about FCT local government
Election, yes.
So now, yes, I'm asking, will the governor of Abuja, being the FCT minister, will he allow free and fair election in that local Abuja metropolis? Will he allow free and fair election? Because we have seen so many things happening in River State for some time after he left the office, even when he the River State governor. Will he allow free and fair election in Abuja? That is my question.
Thank you, Mr. Amadi, for joining us. We're excited that you are watching us as far away as Port Harcourt, and we thank God that you are interested in the affairs of FCT. God bless you. So we will answer your question now. Thank you. Okay, so I want Nigerians to know that the FCT election, by divine arrangement, is the first assignment of the new INEC chairman. So whether he will allow himself to be messed up by this, I don't believe he will allow that. I believe that INEC has a duty. You know, our case is different from that of all the other states. In other states, it is the state electoral body that is conducting the election. But as we are lucky, you know, we have the federal here, and even the Abuja INEC is also, closely knitted to the mother INEC. So this is the very first assignment of Professor Amokuton, and this is his purview. This is his baby. This is his acid test. How Nigerians will judge him. It has a lot to do with this election, and I think he doesn't want to fail. And then back to the governor of Abuja. Abuja has no governor. Abuja has a minister, and the minister represents the president as the person in charge of the territory. Okay, so he doesn't have the nomenclature of a governor. He's a minister, and then his role as a minister does not have anything to do with election. And by the grace of God, many of us, in fact, that was the first question I asked the candidate when they came to the studio. I said, well, do you believe that this election will be fair and fair? And he said, I believe. So let me give him opportunity also to talk about the question. Yes, Sydney, you heard what Amadi said from Rivers.
I thank you, Amadi Oha, for calling in. It's a pleasure hearing from you, Fire Rivers. The same question was asked by our host, Mr. Shaw, if I feel, just like many Nigerians feel in this election. Interestingly, Didiade Anju Barrister also had the same thought, that do you think Wike is going to make elections free and fair in Abuja? And I said, hell yes. Why not? Now, Abuja, it's the true reflection of Nigeria.
Yes.
It's a conglomerate of tribe, region, religion. It's a clear definition of Nigeria. So you do not have a certain people with a monopoly of a certain decision. So it makes it difficult. The topography of Abuja makes it difficult for a singular individual to make singular decision, as it is obtained in
other places,
in other states. where you, for example, in Kogi State, you have the Ibiras, the Igalas, and the
Opens, yes.
Three. But in Abuja, in my polling unit, you could have the entire Nigeria voting.
A microscopic of Nigeria.
Absolutely. You have the entire country voting there. So you don't want to say, this is Yoruba, this is Gala, this is Hausa, this is Steve. They're all Nigerians coming to make decisions for their residents. So I tell you, very difficult. There could be other strategy. You don't even understand who votes or not.
Yeah.
So that makes it complex and interesting in the FCT. So clearly, there can be a re-election in the FCT.
And to wrap up that question, you see, I believe that election rigging is possible when people vote and go away. If you vote, for example, and stay in your polling unit until it is counted, and if you guys agree together, you know, because you want a good government, and you appoint a few, follow the vote from the polling unit to the ward collating unit, and from the ward collating unit to the area council collating unit, and all the way to the top. It will be very difficult for them to, you know, to do this rigging. You know, people who are doing rigging because they feel that Nigerians are not interested. They say, I'm not concerned. It doesn't concern me. And this "it doesn't concern me" attitude is something that we just have to do away with so that we can be able to, get a good and clean election done in Nigeria, whereby we know for sure that we have voted in candidates who will work for us, who will serve us, who will pursue our interests, they pursue the interests of the people, and then transform lives for each and every one of us and make our country to move forward.
And to add to that,
yes,
there are polling unit agents on ground. We hope they don't compromise.
Yes.
But aside that, we already know our results from our polling unit, regardless of whatever it's done anywhere. So we already know what numbers of votes we have against.
And when you tabulate all your votes in all the polling units, so you have your evidence in your hand. Absolutely. And then you can take it to the highest level too. So, Mr. Amadi, thank you very much. The question is very answered. We are confident that this election is going to be free and fair, and it will give us the kind of leaders that we want. But what we are not confident about is whether Nigerians will actually understand that this is our own election. Because the grassroots touch our lives more than any other election.
Absolutely.
The grassroots touches our life more than any other election. Absolutely. That's why we all have to get involved. If you don't have your voter's card, quickly go and register now. And if you vote in your state, you live in Abuja, where you make your money, where you live, and where your children go to school, where you work. But when it comes to election, you go to your state to go and vote. You need to change in your voting place now to FCT so that you can vote for the candidate that you have heard, you have listened to, and how they will govern will affect your life. This is wisdom, and we should all take it. So we want to now enter second phase of bombarding Mr. Sydney Usman Godwin. What do councillors really do?
Okay. That's the lowest.
And what will you be doing?
That's the lowest level of government.
It's okay.
Like, I've assumed unofficially the role of the councillor, which is normal with everybody.
Okay.
Rural engagement, talking about engaging with the people.
Rural engagement?
Yes.
Okay.
That's community engagement.
Community engagement.
Where I understand the pains and sufferings of the common people.
You are the one that touch the people the most.
Absolutely.
You are the leader they see on a daily basis.
So I know they have not eaten. I know their roads are bad.
Yeah.
I know there's no water in the community. I know there's no health care functional anywhere in the society. In my community, I know they have to trek 500 kilometers to fetch water. I know there's no power. So these are one of those things I'll be doing, engaging.
Okay.
And also, when I'm done with that, I assume a position of presenting these facts after the fact-finding mission.
Yes.
Mr. Stakeholders, this is what my community needs.
Okay.
I become a liaison officer.
You're a liaison officer.
Between the people and the government.
And the community government.
Absolutely. So this and this and this and this. And as a lawmaker, I will actually be very much involved.
But you will also be making law.
Absolutely.
I hope you hear. The councillor makes law for you.
Absolutely.
In your community.
Absolutely.
That's why you have to be interested in who becomes your councillor.
So what we'll do is to ensure that we promote laws that affects the people positively. Absolutely. Because I feel, as poor as my community is, there's no need for taxation. Because it becomes not taxation, but
sorry, we have a second caller.
Extortion.
We have a second caller. Please, let's answer this call. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome to FCT, countdown to FCT elections 2026. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Cross River State.
Calling all the way from Cross River State. Wow. Are you in Ugeb? Are you in Calabar?
Yeah, I'm right in Cross River right now.
Okay, which part of Cross River? Are you in Obudu?
No, Central Cross River.
Okay, Central Cross River. So please go on. What's your question?
Now my contribution is that you know that this Muslim kind of a thing, if the contestant is Christian and Muslim, but I suggest that maybe we should surrender to one part, because the Christians stand a better chance to win Muslim, they will do on two. So I believe that if the contestant is Muslim and Christian, please let Christians just surrender for the Muslims to take over the situation. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. What, you didn't tell us your name?
Samuel.
Samuel. Okay, Samuel. we do not do politics. We believe that politics of religion will destroy Nigeria. So what we need is good people. So somebody can be a Christian by name and he's a devil in his heart, and somebody can be a Muslim, you know, and be an angel in his heart. So it depends on upbringing from the home. You know, a lot of parents have failed in their homes and they have not raised good children, whether they are Muslims or whether they are Christian. So by the grace of God, the politics we want to rescue Nigeria with is the politics of good governance. It does not matter whether the person is even from the shrine, a traditional worshipper, or a Christian or a Muslim. So the people of, we need good people to govern us. Thank you very much. So we need good people to govern us everywhere. Politics of religion will destroy Nigeria, and we don't.
To react to what he said,
we don't want to play that.
Malami is a Muslim.
He's a Muslim.
Godwin Emefiele is a Christian.
He's a Christian, yes.
Their unity is in looting Nigeria.
In looting Nigeria.
The only common enemy we have in Nigeria is not religion. The common enemy we have is corruption.
Criminality. Criminality. Yes.
So if we kick that out of our political system, then a Christian would know if a Muslim is a leader, or a Muslim would know if a Christian is a leader. The idea is to ensure that we push humanity, and that's what we'll talk about.
Okay.
So we, as a councillor, God's willing, when voted for, I will serve Christians, the Muslims, the atheists, the pagans,
traditionalists, everybody.
Because my service is to humanity, and that's what God commands.
Thank you. And now, let's quickly give you the opportunity to talk about your program.
Okay, sir.
What's your agenda for the people of Payward?
Simple. We should have social amenities, primarily, which is by the fourth schedule of the 1999 Constitution as amended.
Yes.
The third tier of government, which is the local government, is empowered to ensure that they provide primary health care, education, be it for the adult, just like vocational training, primary education for residents.
What will you do?
Good. Mine is to ensure that these are carried out, facilitated and delivered.
How?
Good. One, I'm an activist.
Okay.
I will serve as an advocate.
Okay.
I will be the bridge, like I said, a liaison officer between the governed and the governor.
Okay.
So the point is to ensure that the evidence of democracy is brought to fair.
Okay.
The point is that we will have our local government chairman, whoever that turns out to be one, accountable.
Okay.
He must, because the new law, local government autonomy, provides even more money for the local government.
For the local government.
As I speak to you, some local governments within the FCT collect up to 1.4 billion monthly.
That's AMAC.
In Kwali, we get about between 800 to 1 billion.
For July 2025, your area council collected 816 million, almost 850 million naira. Okay, so
it has been between 800 to 1 billion,
and it's going to get bigger and better. And they also generate
absolutely
revenue. So as councillor, what is your manifesto?
My manifesto is simple. We call it SEARS.
Okay, so can you spell it?
SEERS.
SEERS. Okay, what does it stand for?
So when we talk about the social amenities,
okay,
we will advocate.
S for social amenities.
Yes, we'll be at the front line
to
ensure that social amenities like potable water, good schools, good healthcare centers are delivered to the people.
Okay.
We'll talk about education.
Okay.
we want to see how best, if JAMB is still in vogue,
Yes.
to see how best within our constituency we register 100 JAMB bikes yearly.
Who will pay for them?
The council.
You will pay for?
Absolutely.
Okay, he's going to pay for 100 students that are writing JAMB from his own salary. Yeah.
Also, we intend to ensure that 100 students within the basic education scheme
Yes.
are taken care of yearly.
Okay, how will you do that?
By paying for their tuition fees. It's not that expensive.
Public school or private school?
Public schools, obviously.
Okay.
Yes. So
the government, the public school collect money?
they do, and this is the aberration.
Okay. So by law, some children are not able to go to school because
they don't pay money.
Couldn't pay. Okay.
And by law that established the universal basic education ensures that it's a compulsory mandatory education scheme for children.
For children. Okay.
But like Barrister Marshall of the Femi Falana Chambers
yes.
has to take this matter to court.
Okay.
That why will public students pay school fees? In fact, in primary school, by going to school, it's like it absolutely against the spirit and letters of our constitution. But that will be a conversation for another day. Okay. Now, we'll talk about the other E. We'll talk about empowerment.
Empowerment, okay.
There's a social scheme ongoing, like the conditional cash transfer.
Okay.
And I must tell you, it has been widely marginalized.
Okay.
If you go there, people are being picked out of favoritism.
And it's for all Nigerians?
For all Nigerians. I go, I interact with people, and I'm amazed. These monies are disbursed. But a few. What we intend to do is to ensure that we have a comprehensive register of the elderly and the women.
Okay.
That this conditional cash transfer are being made to them, and we ensure that they have them imputed in their businesses to help local economy.
Okay.
And one thing I will stand against is to ensure that our people are not tax extorted.
Okay. What's your
talking about?
What's your R?
We're talking about, okay, there have been issues. I was invited in Tungamaje by a group of Nigerians who the Nigerian military threatened to confiscate their land, land grabbing. And we said no. So we ensure that we push up to the National Assembly with even more people that the right to land of the indigenous people in Abuja be respected.
Okay.
They have a right to it. So it's ancestral land, and they should have the first offer of refusal.
You shouldn't just drive them away. No. At least there should be respect for the ancestral one that they are still occupying.
Absolutely. Okay. And I'll talk about the other S. We'll talk about sports. I love football.
Okay.
Also. So we intend to see how best young people are galvanized, groomed, and probably exported. Not just for international or economic value, but also for national integrity and building. We are proud to see that the Nigerian national team, the Super Eagles, are in the semi-finals of the Nations Cup today. But we intend to, by the grace of God, in the next 10 years with our programs, to ensure that the entire team in the national team are home-based players with raw classic talent.
Can you do that as a councillor? No. Or you can contribute to that?
Absolutely. That's an initiative we intend to spread.
Okay. Actually, someone called me before we entered the studio and said, I must ask you and every other candidate that come into the studio about their sports agenda.
Okay.
But is it football alone that, because Nigeria seems to be crazy about football alone?
Yes, yes. And again, it will interest you that we have talents across board.
Yes.
Yes. But the most visible, it's football. Okay. In fact, we had this conversation with a few of our comrades, even with Mr. Omoyele earlier today. When we talked about, I said, we should organize a football tournament.
Okay.
He said, no, marathon will be fine. So it tells you Nigerians are diverse in what they love to carry out.
They love to carry out. Okay, thank you. Now let's ask, we still have a few minutes more.
Okay, how many more minutes?
We have a few minutes more. So, how will you promote inclusiveness?
Yes.
You have not spoken of anything about the rights of disability, people with disability, people living with disability. We seem to be forgetting them in the. So how will you promote holistic inclusiveness for people? You know when you represent pay word, you are still ambassador of all the other words. Absolutely. So how will you promote inclusiveness in Kwali Area Council?
Okay, fine.
And for people of FCT generally?
Like I've clearly stated earlier, that I want to be councillor for all. So I'm not having a demography or special interest.
Yeah.
So the community of the disabled, the community of the able are all involved in our programs.
Okay.
So we intend to serve everyone as Nigerians, not with special favor or special interest.
Yeah.
Everyone will be given the right to participate in both the social, political, and economic activities of our constituency, and with equal and well-deserved representation. So what it means is that what is good for Mr. A is also for Mr. B. And again, the people with disabilities, yeah, we see a whole lot of abilities in them.
Yeah.
We will put them on a scale that, okay, fine, probably for the first time I won't agree with the quota system. Okay, if we're given this certain percentage should be reserved for this particular group of abled people.
So that they can have a voice in the table.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, let's talk about Kwalis. He has massive land. It should be an agric. Well, do you have any plan? Because your CS have nothing in agriculture.
Yes. This is basically what we intend to do for our people using our. But again, as we travel, we had that conversation also about agriculture. But you know, it's way beyond
what a councillor can do.
Absolutely. But again, like I said, I'll serve as a liaison officer. If you know PI very well, it's an agrarian society.
Very well. Yes.
Yeah. So, like I said, that particular road was created for
that purpose, for the purpose of the big men farms.
Thank you. So, we should also have that to our advantage.
Okay.
Yes. So, our people love to farm.
Okay.
So, why don't we liaise with these people and other stakeholders to get fertilizers for them?
Okay.
Or probably develop, as an environmentalist, we could probably get natural fertilizers, manures, create an environment for that where we could naturally process them. And also, we could serve as middlemen between investors, how we could attract them there. They could probably provide turbine, provide other sources of electricity to ensure that place become lively. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. This may be my final question to you before I will allow you to speak to the people. Almost $1 billion coming to a local government like Kwale, if it is well managed, project that can be commenced and finished in 6 months, in 9 months, in 1 year, I believe that people will feel the impact of governance and government better than they are feeling now. So what will you do to ensure that there's shrewd project management? What will you do to ensure that happens in your area council?
Simple. The people are not interested in government and governance.
Okay.
That's the voters.
Okay.
The populace. So what we intend to do, that we've been able to achieve in our electioneering process, is to draw to their notice what comes into the local government every month.
How do you do that?
Yes, we've been interacting. We tell them, these monies are here. These monies are not spent on us. They are spent on other activities.
Okay.
Let's bring a checklist. Let's put them on the spotlight. Let's bring them to account. This is the first rule of it. So we know, whatsoever money that comes to payword, for example, at the end of the month, I'll have it published on our media. For payword,
what media will be that?
It will be all electronic media.
Okay.
Social media.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll say, okay, fine. Payword got, in the month of January, 200 naira.
Okay.
You can fact check it.
Okay.
These and these and these are our programs, and these are what we want to achieve with them. This has never been done anywhere in the council. We want to spearhead that. And in doing that, we bring the chairman, whosoever is, to account. So money was allocated. Where and what has been done. We'll become what talks to this. And with that, we know whatsoever program he wants to initiate, he does that and finish it. Because public pressure, public eye will be on him.
Thank you. Please look into the camera and speak to the people of Abuja. Speak to the people of your area council and your ward.
Okay.
And tell them why it must be you.
Dear people of Bay, I absolutely feel your pain. And it is clear that we are a victim of shared struggle, pain, poverty, penury, maladministration, and clear political, social, and economic exclusion. We've not only been marginalized, but we've been excluded. And the time for liberation is now. The African Action Congress, the AAC party, which is the number 2nd on the ballot, is the only party in this election that is willing, capable, and able to liberate us from the shackles of impunity, from those who have hijacked the instrumentality of power as against our common consanguinity, our aspiration, desire, hope, and future. It's up to you, dear pay people, to free ourselves from this collective maladministration if we must ensure government and governance meets us. Finally, I want to send a message to our friend and brother and comrade in Uganda, Bobi Wine. He's the presidential candidate of the National Unity Platform, the NUP, in Uganda. We're meant to understand that the internet is short as we speak in Uganda, but just understand that the revolutionary spirit is with Bobi Wine and the entire of Ugandans. Yoweri Museveni must not rig this election. We subscribe to the fact that we must, as a people, defend our votes. And citing Article 29 of the Ugandan Constitution, it gives every right to citizens to reject, in protest, any maladministration and also misdeed. So I feel Ugandans should heed to the call. If Museveni tries to rig the election, he should be stopped.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sidney Godwin Usman. You have not only spoken for yourself, you have crossed the border of Nigeria to go and speak to the
African
issue. Okay, because of the name of your party anyway. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, viewers at home, thank you for doing it with us today. I believe that you have enjoyed this edition thoroughly. We have brought to you a councillorship candidate for Pay Ward in Kwali Area Council, and the election is just 39 days away, 21st of February. Get your voters card ready. If you live in FCT, you must be part of this election. And we will continue another edition by the grace of God tomorrow. My name is Olanrewaju Osho, your host. And this program is brought to you by KAFTAN TV. Please subscribe to KAFTAN TV on YouTube and all social media platforms. It's a very wonderful television station that is making great things to happen for viewers in Nigeria. And they also joined the New Direction movement that has brought this program to you. I am a member of New Direction movement.
I'm also a member.
You are also a member. So we are looking for good people who want to see Nigeria transform, who do not like the way politics is played in Nigeria right now. They say politics is dirty, We can clean it. And we are the generation that will clean it and make great things happen for our country. God bless you. God bless your family. See you in the next edition. Have a wonderful night.
The future of our communities begins with informed choices.
As the 2026 FCT Area Council elections draw closer,
the New Direction movement, in partnership with KAFTAN TV and Inspire Nigeria Initiative, presents
30 days countdown to the FCT Area Council